Hey friends, we're going to take some rubber fish and try our hand at the Japanese art of Gyotaku fish printing. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to create your own printed fish. All right, to get started, we're going to take a little piece of bubble wrap. You want to make sure that you're not putting the paint on the smooth side. You want to put paint on the poofy side, and we are going to print some bubbles for our background. I chose this turquoise color, but you could use different shades of blue or green or purple for your underwater scene. And then we're going to take this and we can just take some different shades of blue. And I'm just gently putting the paint over the top. And then I can turn it over and we're just going to do a little gentle rub, pull back. And you can see that that left some little circle bubble shapes. I can go ahead and try that again until I get most of the paint off of my piece of bubble wrap, and then we can go back and add some more paint on top. So you're just kind of gently adding the paint onto your bubble wrap. And then you can take it, give it a gentle push, and ooh, look at that, it's really showing up brightly on our page. Like I said, you can do a couple ghost prints where you just use the leftover paint. If you want to try some darker blue, you can do that also. So you're just going to continue adding bubbles to your paper until you're satisfied, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, we've got lots of beautiful bubble prints across our page. And now we're going to take a sponge brush and some gold paint, and we're going to add some texture to the bottom of our page. So I'm just going to dip into the gold. And I'm just adding some sand texture, so I'm doing some tapping. This is looking great. Just showing where the sand is at the bottom of our lake or our ocean. Just adding some of that texture with our little sponge brush. All right, that's looking wonderful. We've got our sand tapped down at the bottom there, and we've got our bubbles. We're gonna set this onto the drying rack and move on to printing our fish. In order to print the fish, the first thing I wanna do is write my name in the bottom corner. And then I'm gonna take this and set it to the side so I don't get black ink all over it. We are going to be using just our black tempera cake. And I have lots of different fish to print. But today's fish, let's do the angelfish. So in order to do that, I'm gonna take my brush, dip it in water, and then dip it into the black tempera cake. And you just wanna get paint all over it, but you also don't wanna have any puddles, because if you have big puddles of paint on here, it'll take away from the texture. Okay, wanna make sure I've got this black paint all around, all over my fish. I think it's looking pretty good. Make sure I've got her little face and everything. Okay, now, once it's covered with the black paint, we're gonna take our thin piece of paper. I'm gonna make sure my name is looking at me. Put this down, gently set it on top of the fish. And now it's like we're giving the fish a little massage. And we want to make sure we get all around her little mouth and face, up her top fin, all the way, up on the top of the body here. There's that fin. If you miss any pieces and don't give it a little massage, then that's not going to show up on your print. So I'm just kind of going around. Oh, there's that lovely tail. Making sure I get all that texture on the tail. Down here. There's that other fin. Okay, I think I have given her a good massage all over. I will peel it back. Oh, wonderful. And then you have your awesome fish print. This has to go dry on the drying rack before we can use it. And we can always go back in and work on fixing up the eye or any details. All right, now I've gone over to the scrap box and I got some scraps of different colors of paper. And I'm gonna create some different little, so I'm just gonna take this piece and I'm gonna create some different little underwater plants that I can put in my picture. So I'm drawing some different kind of planties here. And I'm using a colored pencil stick to add some detail and texture. I'll get the darker one. I can go back and add some more texture. And then I'm going to take some scissors and cut out that plant. And we're going to be making these plants, cutting them out and gluing them onto our bubbly background. So our fish has a habitat that has water and underwater plants and the sand, and it'll all come together. We can also make it look a little more 3D by having our fish almost look like he's swimming through the plant. So you can have the plant go a little bit in front of his body before you glue it down. That looks like an amazing plant. I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to take this tan color, grab another piece. And I'm going to make another little underwater plant kind of thing. It might be a piece of coral. We don't know. I'm just going to add some little texture lines. Ooh, that yellow looks nice on here. So again, I'm going to cut that out and just have some different plants going to go with my fish on my fish's background in their little habitat. All right, I finished creating my little paper plants to go under the water, and I also have my dry fish. So I'm also going to carefully cut out the fish. Now, I can kind of see where maybe I'm missing a piece of the tail, so I'm just going to still cut out like it's there, leaving that piece there even though it didn't quite print. So I'm just going to carefully cut out my little fish, and then I can add some details with the colored pencils to my fish also. All right, this looks great. I'm just going to add a little detail to where the eye is. So I'm going to add some white. Now you've got to be careful when using the colored pencils on this paper because this paper is so thin. But I went ahead and outlined the eye there. Now I'm going to put the black around the eye. Oh, this is actually a dark blue, but it looks nice. So I'm kind of defining his little eye so it looks a little more fishy. If you want to add a little color, you can. Awesome. And I might go in and just define that mouth a little bit so you can see it a little more. Something else you could do is just define some of the little stripes if you want. So So it just kind of brings your fish a little more to life. Just adding a little of those details. Like, I really like the fin right here, but it's kind of hard to see. So I'm just gonna outline with a little bit of yellow and show that little fishy fin. Maybe up here I'll add some little stripes. So we're just enhancing our fish print a little bit. So now I can really see that eye. Maybe down here I'll add some stripes. I'm gonna give my fish a couple polka dots. All right, now when you look up close at my fish, you can see the eye has kind of come to life. We added a little bit of line design, and he is ready to be glued to his background with all of the beautiful plants. If I want, I can have the fish even kind of swimming in front of and behind some of the plants to make it look like he's right in there with it. So you can decide how you might want to layer your plant so it looks like he's swimming right through, or however you want to set it up. All right, I laid all of my plants down and my fish, and I just kind of made it so it looks like he's swimming right through these plants. And I could always, you can have him behind some of the plants or in front, however you want to arrange him. And then we're going to go ahead and take our glue stick and glue every piece down. So I'm just going to make sure I'm putting glue on the back of each piece. And then gently pressing it down to make sure it sticks to the background. All right, everything's glued down, and I think this is looking like such a neat picture. I've got my fish swimming in and out of my plants with our awesome bubble printed background, and I cannot wait to see your fish prints.